Animal Well is coming to PC, Switch, and PS5 in less than 2 months, May 9th to be exact, and I could not be more excited to dive into this dark, eerie, subterranean world and discover its many secrets. Whether you're here because you follow Video Game Dunkey, this is the first game his company is publishing, or you just saw the trailer and thought it looked cool, I want to go through a basic overview of Animal Well to help you decide whether or not it's the kind of game that you might like. The project is 7 years in the making. Its solo developer Billy Basso started working on it part-time in 2017 and then full-time a few years back. It's almost like a Metroidvania, that's what most people are probably going to call it when it comes out, but there's no combat, just experimenting with the tools you find and discovering creative uses for them. And unlike a Metroidvania, those items mostly come in the form of toys or pretty ordinary objects. Instead of a double jump, you have a bubble wand that lets you create bubbles you can ride up and down on. There's also a frisbee, a yo-yo, firecrackers, so no upgrades per se, but tools that you'll have to get clever with. I also mentioned that Animal Well is full of secrets, but it's not a dedicated puzzle game like Baba Is You or The Witness. I suppose some good games to compare it to are Rain World and Noita, where most of the fun comes from figuring out what exactly is going on around you, and I know a lot of fans of those games can be found lurking in the depths of the Animal Well Discord server. There are also some moments that can be kinda scary or tense too. Now, the game definitely isn't horror, but it does take inspiration from classic survival horror titles. Billy has mentioned that he loves the way those games approach puzzles, often pretty simple, yet with a haunting, pressing atmosphere constantly weighing on the player. He cited this puzzle from the first Resident Evil game, shining different colored lights on these portraits, crows staring down at you, waiting to attack if you make the wrong move, as an example of the kind of mood he's going for. While this game won't feature any zombies like that one, to my knowledge at least, you can take damage and even die, but it shouldn't be too much of a setback. These yellow telephones are scattered all around the map, and you'll just warp back to whichever one you used last upon death. The game's called Animal Well, so what's up with all these animals? Well, they come in all shapes and sizes. Some may take an interest in you, follow you around curiously, or even chase you down, while others kinda just do their own thing. But each one makes this game unique, and their unpredictable nature, at least before you get to know them, is very curious indeed. I even made a video going over every animal in the game, which is now outdated since we've seen a few new faces since then, but it's still worth a watch, in my opinion, if you want to know what you're up against. And really, the thing you should be expecting above all else is to just have to figure things out for yourself. You'll hatch from this flower and then be off to see what you can find. No traditional tutorials, just environmental clues and learning through trial by error. You may have noticed the striking pixel style of the well. As Billy said, he wanted to take pixel art and make it look fancier, while still keeping somewhat of an old school feel. And I think he's totally achieved that goal and even gone beyond that with this gorgeous real-time lighting and shadows, and the fluid sim used to create water and smoke effects. Maybe even more striking than all this is simply the darkness. And it's there for a good reason. Yes, we are at the bottom of a well, I guess, so naturally you wouldn't get much light down there. But the dark hides many secrets, so be sure to check behind every vine and waterfall for suspicious-looking nooks and crannies. From the Steam description itself, this is a truly unique experience that can make you laugh in fear, surprise, or delight. And I think that's a great way to sum up Animal Well. If you want to know more about some of the game's early ARG puzzles, then head on over to this lovely video by Fury Forged, who's been a well dweller since the very early days. And maybe I'll see you in the well on May 9th.